All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a moving button. So at this point, you know how to create a simple button that you hover over, click on it, and it changes in some way. But let's say you wanted to like hover over a button and then like when you click on it, it literally moves around the page or something. How would you do that? All right, so this is how I'm going to show you how to do this. Um, Right now you can see that I'm working with Alice's image again. I've got lots of different layers. I have my background locked. I started to create an animation with one of these frames where if I play it, you can see the frame kind of goes up and down. Right, so this would be one of my like looping animations that's continuously moving and looping throughout the entire animation. But let's say I wanted to create a button that was physically moving. How would I do this? So I'm going to take this shape here and I'm going to make it into a moving button. I'm going to have it, when you click on it, it's just going to go up. Okay, so it's going to start here. So what I'm going to do, it's layer 6. Is it layer 6? Layer. Let me see something here. I already made that to a button. Bear with me here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shape here. Sorry about that. And I'm going to make it into a moving button. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to select it. All right, so I can just click on it and select it. The selection looks like mesh, right? Like that means that it's selected. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert it into a symbol as if I was making a normal button. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to do convert to symbol. And I'm going to change this symbol to a button. Okay, so I'm going to name it button. I'm going to hit OK. And now I've made this into a button. When I double click on the object, I am now in my symbol timeline, right? So I have my up, my over, and my down. So my up right now is going to stay white. I'm not changing anything about it. My over, maybe I'm going to change the color of it. So maybe I'm going to insert a keyframe into my over, and I'm going to change the color of that to like a gray. So it's going to go up, over, and then in my down, I want to make it move. So I'm going to right click and create a keyframe again, like we normally would, okay, for my down button. But then it gets a little bit different. Instead of like changing something about the shape, like making it bigger, changing the color, or so forth, I'm now going to make it move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the shape again, and I'm going to right click on the shape, and I'm going to do convert to symbol again. All right, so I'm going to convert it to a symbol again. And now I'm going to change the type to movie clip. So it's no longer a button, it's now becoming a movie clip because I want to make it move. I'm going to hit OK, right? And I'm going to double click on this shape again, and you can see it brings me to a timeline that looks like my original timeline, but this is just for this button. Let's say I wanted it to be 1 second long. So I'm going to insert a frame, and I'm going to make it 1 second long. And maybe I'm going to insert keyframes. You could do a motion tween. You could do whatever you want here. Let's say I wanted to insert a keyframe every so many seconds, and I'm just going to move this up. Insert keyframe. And I'm going to move it up. And then I'm going to insert a keyframe here. And I'm going to move it up again. And then maybe what I'm going to do is highlight the whole, highlight the whole thing. And I'm going to make it into a classic tween, right? So those arrows kind of pull through. So when I hit play, this is what my animation is going to do. So this is what you need to look at here. Right now, we are stuck in the timeline of the button. This is totally separate from the timeline of your looping animation. If you go to the top left corner, you can see your different timelines, right? So you have symbol 4, which would be this button. Then if I go back to symbol 3, it brings me to my up, over, and down. And if I go to scene 1, it brings me back to my original animation. So if I wanted to go back to this, I would double click on the symbol, right? And then I could double click on it again, and it's going to bring me to my moving animation. And you can see it kind of pops up here, and I can go back and forth this way too. So if I wanted to test this out, if I were going to do control test, and we're going to test out, okay. So you can see I have this one looping frame that's going up and down. It's pausing for a second. And then I have this button here, right? That when I hover over it, it turns gray. And when I click on it, it moves up, right? So that would be a moving animation. So what I'd like to see you do is create a simple moving animation as an activity. So in Animate, doesn't have to be in a file like this. You can create a brand new file. Just create a simple shape. Okay, this is a gray shape, right? And then what I'm going to do is right click on it and convert it to a symbol. And I'm going to make it into a button. Then I'm going to double click on my button so that I'm in my button timeline. I'm going to change my over to something else, like another color. So it's gray, green. And then in my down, I'm going to insert another keyframe. Then I'm going to double click on the shape again. Should bring me to, oh, whoops, I'm sorry. You're going to create a keyframe. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Then I'm going to right click on the shape again. So you're going to convert two symbols. Movie clip. I'm going to double click on it. Create my animation. So I can also do like a motion tween if I want to, right? So I could do a motion tween. And then that would be my moving animation. So I have my up, my over, my down, which moves, right? So if I go to test this out, that's my animation. So you can see I didn't take that frame, the black frame with it. But so this is what I'd like to see from you. You can copy me specifically, or you can recreate. You can do this in your actual animation and show me that, but I want to see that you understand how to do this.